So, who can share what are, or ano yung meaning ng yung mga thinking skills na yun? What are those? Miss Sandara, I agree to define what are those. Yung mga thinking skills na binigay ni Rojana. Thank you.
So first is knowledge, which is you are measuring the thinking of the student, what she recalls or what she remembers. So the next is comprehension. Comprehension if the student really understand what she is, what the question is. And the next is application. Application is when you integrate that question in another scenario like that. And the last, reasoning.
Yes.
The reasoning. And the last is the reasoning where you can measure whether the students know the process or the methods that is in the question. So that's how it is.
So I have here a example of question. And there is assessing knowledge and comprehension. So which of the following best defines reliability or precision? Can I call Miss Baroga? What is your answer? Which of the following best defines reliability or precision? Consistency of score. Okay, so why consistency of scores? Kasi, when we just discussed it was always reliability is the consistency of the test scores that we use. So you're saying na i-match mo yung the word consistency of scores kasi as we have learned, reliability is all about the consistency of scores. Okay, so why can a test be reliable but not valid? Why can a test be reliable but not valid? Hindi na measure kung ano yung dapat na i-measure. Yes, reliability is all about consistency, and validity is all about accuracy of what is being measured. Okay, so another question here is, kung kanina ang basis lang niya isang keyword na accuracy, consistency of scores by defining what is reliability. Kung magbigay ako ng or maka-encounter kayo ng another question, which is hindi lang iisa sa choices yung gumamit ng word na consistency of scores. So, sa tingin niyo paano siya ano yung dapat ninyong consider pa aside doon sa keyword na na-remember niyo, which is the consistency of scores. Kasi reliability is all about consistency of scores. So kung bigyan kayo ng another question about this definition ng reliability, pero yun nga, sa choices, hindi na lang iisa yung ginamit ni teacher na word ng consistency. So ano yung other factor na or other na pwede nyo i-consider by consider Miss Ate Michelle. Kasi since kanina is nag-base lang siya sa keyword lang na consistency of scores natin. So kung maka-encounter ka ng another question about reliability pa din, anong definition of reliability? Gumamit na yung teacher ng sa lahat ng choices may consistency na. So ano pa yung other na kailangan mong i-consider para mapili mo yung correct?
So yung aside sa consistency is the similarities of the answer.
Actually, kapag ganyan, maka-encounter kayo ng consistency na, kapag lahat ng choices is may consistency na words, you can actually consider other, kung yung susunod ba ng mga phrases doon sa phrases na binigay ni teacher is, align ba talaga siya doon sa real definition ng reliability. Kasi there are instances na kung makita lang natin yung clue na consistency of doon na tayo mag-stick doon, di ba? So minsan, there are tricky siya minsan kapag ang teacher is magbigay siya ng choices na may similar words doon sa definition ng term. Yes? So doon na part, na-assess yung ma-assess yung comprehension ng student kung na-understand niya ba talaga kung ano yung meaning ng reliability. Kanina, sa clue lang, keyword match lang yung kay Caroga, accuracy of score, doon, ang na-assess lang doon is ang knowledge. Kasi basic recalling of facts lang. Did you understand? Yes. Okay, another example sa assessing application. Ito, you're building a quiz to check whether basic students can apply the past tense rule, which item will best assess that skill. Anyone who can answer? Miss Cabaya. Letters. So why letters? Bakit mo napili yung letters yan? Yun yung meron sa the other choices na hindi ko nakita. Or like, mas yung letters mo for you. Sa letters ni parang na-understand na talaga yung past tense. Okay. So since, yes, that's correct. Since choose the sentence that uses the past tense correctly. So you're saying na by eliminating those other choices, you're saying na i-match mo yung question sa objective ng choices, which is to apply the past tense. Thank you. So let's dig deeper. Kung gawin ko ito, kung kanina i-apply ang past tense rule, let's dig deeper. Ginawa ko siya nagawa lang ako ng question about doon. So suppose you turn the past tense rule into a multiple choice question. So does that still assess past tense application, or does anything else break in? Ma-assess pa rin ba ang
question since yung mga answer, yung mga pipiliin choices is very obvious siya. Since that's letter B is wrong yung spelling, and then yung ano is
So, sabi naman kanina na past tense rule, di ba? Past tense rule. So, we can eliminate the B and C. Pero I'll give you an instance. Di ba, when we use assessment, we measure a specific skill. So, we imply that there is no other influence sa score ng student. So, kung meron man maging factor, hindi na yun siya, I mean, construct irrelevant na yun siya kasi hindi mo na ma-measure, hindi na intend mo na i-measure sa test. So, ito yung example. Pero, sa choices na ito, suppose na yung student is magaling siya sa, I mean, alam niya yung past tense rule, si student 1, pero mahina siya sa spelling. Si other student, marunong siya, alam niya yung past tense rule, magaling din siya sa spelling. So, ano yung mangyayari doon? Kasi there is a difference of may factor na naman. Iba na yung, so ano yung, can I call Miss Ladies?
can you please repeat?
Ay, ako yung nagsasalita ngayon. Sino pa? Yung walang check dito sa ano ko, hindi pa lang.
Isa line.
Since, diba, sa choices na ito, may misspelling na dito. So, kung si student 1, magaling, alam niya yung past tense rule, pero mahina siya sa spelling. Si other student, alam niya rin ang past tense rule, and magaling siya sa spelling. So, ano yung parang mangyari doon sa students? Sa measurement mo ng test. Sa pag-measure mo ng result, if ever,
Actually, ang question ay yung choices kasi sa paggawa pa lang ng assessment, sa gagawin yung measure. So, to address the problem, I guess the teacher should rephrase the yung alternatives, kumbaga yung options, para ma-align doon sa ng mga students. Pero to address the problem na yung isa is hindi marunong ng spelling.
mahina siya sa spelling.
So, parang hindi ko yun siya ma-address actually. Ang ma-address mo lang is to change the alternatives. So, yun yung
Okay. We can actually, adjust pa rin tayo doon sa instances na ito. Since, di ba na-define natin ang validity kasi meron ng misspelling which is hindi na siya parang align na lang sa choices.
So, yung students is mag-depend na lang siguro siya sa spelling sa pagpili niya ng choices. Diyan o sa fairness kasi. Ay. Alam ko yung sa first na question.
To address that, kung gagawa tayo ng distractor, dapat ano pa rin siya sa kung ano yung tinatanong natin sa step. Tama ba? Kasi kung halimbawa na nito ay yung letter T, mali ang spelling, hindi na siya align doon. Kasi dito, hindi na lang yung gadget understanding ng students na measure mo. Kasi pati yung ability nila sa spelling, which is malayo na yun siya. Hindi na siya okay. So, to fix that, we should always make distractor na yung hindi na siya, yung i-measure mo is, hindi na siya belong doon. Yes, did you understand that before? Yes. Next is, sa assessing reasoning and then understanding. So dito, can anyone answer this? And I call Miss Sheena.
Sheena Rose.
When Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death," his assumption was that A. Everyone would agree with him, B. Thomas Jefferson would be impressed with his speech, C. He couldn't have freedom, he might as well die, D. His work would be taught all students for years. Why C? Bakit C? Why not the other choices? Why not the other choices? So, based on Sheena's answer, can anyone, if ever na i-change ko itong question na ito, like, I mean, the assumption of Mr. Henry, give us liberty or give me death, how does that one word change affect his underlying assumption? Kanina, give me liberty or give me death. Lisa Binasa. Kanina is, give me liberty or give me death. Ngayon, imagine Henry and shouted, give us liberty or give me death. How does that one word change affect his underlying assumption? Now is, what does it mean? Give us liberty or give me death. How does it work?
So the one word change the assumption. It's not just talking about the sound, but it's us, like
So, you're saying na hindi na lang siya for individual or all na siya. Pero ang sabi sa history is some people are not into war or fight. Some people are scared. So, do you think yung assumption ni Henry na ito, tama ba siya? Kasi kanina is,
diba sabi ko, at the end, you should have
okay, so sa knowledge and comprehension, it's just basic recall of facts. I mean, knowledge is basic recall of facts lang siya. Ang comprehension is if you understand the concept the way certain topic. Application, if you can apply a certain, yung idea mo in another context, in deep understanding and reasoning, you can analyze or deeper situations in
alright, sige. Pwede siguro natin pwede natin balikan yung binigay ko sa inyo revise doon sa yung 10 page na yon. Clear naman sa inyo anong difference, diba, ng remembering sa remember sa understand. Ang apply usually class kapag may mga calculations kayo, yan, apply yan. Obviously, apply yung calculations na yan. Yung analyzing, yung kapag asking about medyo mahaba-habang reading kasi yung analysis eh. Tapos i-identify nila yung one word or phrase that connects to your question. Ganun ang analysis. Wala tayong analysis na one sentence lang. Medyo mahaba-habang statements or phrase or paragraph. Paragraph talaga yung analysis natin. Alright? How do we know it's nasa higher, hindi lang siya nasa remember? Kapag ang answer mo, hindi tinuro ng teacher. Tandaan nyo lang yun ha. Kapag na-discuss ng teacher, like yung kaninang consistency, parati natin yung na-discuss, di ba? So, nasa level lang yun. Nasa recall lang kasi exactly yun ang na-discuss sa loob ng klase. Pero kapag kayo ay nagpa-interpret, diba? That's one way of checking understanding, interpretation nila. How do we interpret reliability pa? Ano kaya ito? Sige, probably not interpretation. Pwede tayo nasa interpretation, pwede tayo exempt, pumili ng halimbawa or ano ang konsepto. Ang madalas, ang madaling gawin, pagdating sa understand na level ng question, yung may scenario pa, tapos identify mo anong concept, yung pinapakita ng scenario na yun. I think very familiar kayo sa ganun, no? Kasi napapansin ko yun yung ginagawa ninyo. Bibigay kayo ng scenario and then they will identify what concept aligns with the scenario that you gave. Let's say, for example, a teacher ensures that a teacher checks for vague words in his or her exam before giving them, and also ensures that there are no areas for confusion in the test. Okay. What, halimbawa, principle of good quality assessment does the teacher ensure? Yung ganon. So, halimbawa, letter A, practicality. Letter B, validity. Letter C, yung mga ganon. Alright? So, anong sagot ko? Reliability. Obviously, iba kasi yung mga clue, etc. So, yan yung kung pwede ninyong magawa na mga ibang test items. Alright? Sige. I-cut na natin ngayon yung kay Ruth class. Ganito. Can I ask another time on Monday? Like before yung class ninyo kay Ma'am Parada, pwede pa tayo mag-meet lang para kayo po. Para hindi na tayo mag-extend ngayon. Feeling ko overloaded na kayo. Overloaded na ba kayo? Pagod na tayo, di ba? Ako napagod na rin ako. So, yung kanya pa naman may calculations, applications. So, kailangan ninyo ng more mental energy for that. So, pwede ba, bago mag-class kayo kay Ma'am Parada sa Monday, pwede tayo mag-meet. 12:30. Okay lang yun, 12:30. Okay lang ba sa inyo? Kasi kailangan natin, hindi natin pwedeng ilagay si Ruth sa alas 4 kasi may nakaschedule na for 4 to 5:30. Alright? Class, magtyaga na lang muna tayo ngayon ha? Para matapos natin. Alright, pag sinabi natin 12:30 ha? Okay, at hindi 12:40. Para may time sa tayo